if a equals 4 and b equals 2, what is the value of the following expression? A minus b. So if you have this expression, a minus b, and you know that a equals 4 and b equals 2, well, just substitute the a with the 4 and substitute the b with the 2. So let's write right after this expression, write equals, and now substitute the a. So instead of writing a, we're going to write 4, the minus sign here, and then instead of writing b, we're going to write 2. And now let's calculate this. 4 minus 2 is 2. That was quite easy. Let's do one more. 6a plus 3b. Remember, when we write 6a, just gonna make a note here, 6a really means 6 times a, but we're not writing out the multiplication sign. When we see 6a, it means 6 times a. Same thing here. 3b really means 3 times b, but we're not going to write it out, the multiplication sign. Okay, let's go back to the exercise. 6a plus 3b, and we know that a is still 4 and b is 2. So let's write out 6a, but instead of writing 6a, we're going to write 6 and then the multiplication sign, remember, that is hidden in here, and then a, which is 4. So 6a becomes 6 times 4. Then we're going to write the plus sign here, 3, remember, times, and then b is 2. So we're going to write 3 and the multiplication sign, and b was 2. I'm just going to keep going like this. Let's calculate this first. This is bid mass, right? So we're going to do the multiplication before the addition. 6 times 4 is 24. Write out the plus sign and then calculate this one. 3 times 2 is 6. And now we just add these two together and we end up with 30, which is the answer. Okay, how about this one? 2a minus b plus 4ab. 2a really means 2 times a. So let's write 2 times, and a is 4, so we're going to write 4. Minus b. b was 2, remember? We're going to write 2, then the plus sign, and then 4 times a times b. So we're going to write 4 times, and a was 4, and then b is 2, so times 2 equals, I'm just going to change row and continue here, equals, first 2 times 4 is 8, the minus sign, 2, just going to write out the 2, plus, and then 4 times 4 times 2. Let's do these first. 4 times 4 is 16, so the answer of this is 16, and then times 2, so 16 times 2 is 32. So I'm going to write plus 32. And finally, 8 minus 2 is 6, plus 32 is 38. How about we do one with division? We have these values: a equals 1, b equals 2, and c, a third variable, equals 3. How about if we have this expression: 3a plus 6b over c. So let's substitute the a, b, and c with these numbers. So 3a is actually 3 times, and a is 1. Plus sign, and then 6b is going to be 6 times b, which is 6 times 2, because b is 2. Now we finish this upper part. And down here we have only c, 3. So let's do this part first and then do the whole division. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus sign, and then 6 times 2 is 12, and then over 3. This is 3 plus 12 is 15 over 3, and the answer is 5. How about if we have some other variables? X equals minus 2 and y equals minus 3. How about 2x minus 3y? Now we have some negative numbers, and we have a minus sign here, so it's going to be the same thing. We just have to be a little bit careful when we're working with negative numbers, so we get the sign right. So 2x is of course 2 times x, 2 times, and instead of writing x, I'm going to write minus 2. And usually when we work with negative numbers, we put them within brackets. So 2 times x becomes 2 times minus 2. Let's write out the minus sign, and then 3 times, and y is minus 3. Let's continue down here. 2 times minus 2 becomes minus 4. Remember, we can find out that the number is 2 times 2, which is 4, and we have a positive and a negative number. And when we're doing multiplication, plus and minus becomes minus, so minus 4. If we write out this minus sign and then do the 3 times minus 3 is minus 9, which is going to be minus 9, but this is minus minus 9, which is plus 9. We can do that, or we can do minus 3 times minus 3, which is plus 9. So it's the same thing. Finally, minus 4 plus 9 is 5. So pay attention to how we did when we have the negative numbers, minus 2 and minus 3 here and here. Let's do one more. We still have x equals minus 2 and y equals minus 3. How about if we have this expression: minus x plus 2y? we have to write out the minus sign, and then x is minus 2, but negative numbers we write within brackets. Minus minus x is minus 2 with brackets. Plus sign, 2y is 2 times y. So 2 times, and y is minus 3, so minus 3 within brackets. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's work this out. Minus minus 2. Two minus signs right next to each other becomes a plus. So minus minus becomes plus. So it's going to be plus 2. And then plus 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. You can write like this. And then next step, 2 plus minus 6 plus minus is minus. So 2 minus 6. The answer is minus 4.